BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzyme. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Hi, this is Devin Lockett, the president of Job Site Route. As the son of a general contractor, I know how difficult it can be to get good food on the job site. And letting your construction workers leave the job site to buy lunch just takes valuable time away from them being on the site. I've developed an app and a program that will bring a steady stream of food trucks to your job sites every month for the low price of only $100 per month per site. That comes up to about $3 per day to have a steady stream of food trucks coming to your job sites all day, every working day. You can also contact the food trucks ahead of time and pre-order your food from the menu on our app. This saves valuable time for your construction workers and for you. It also sends a variety of delicious food served on Southern California food trucks to your job sites all day. When you think about it, it only makes sense to join the Job Site Route Network. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Let me just do a couple of sound checks. Make sure I'm coming in nice and loud and clear. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Happy Hump Day. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this today. And Elon Musk, even though I got some issues with Elon Musk as far as his AI project is concerned, I got to give credit where credit is due, like I always say. I believe Elon may have been right about artificial intelligence being more dangerous than nuclear weapons, because at least human beings are not going to be stupid enough to implement mutually assured destruction. At least we hope. We're going to keep our fingers crossed, especially with everything that's going on right in the world right now, and press the button and have us all blown up, right, with nukes. Well, now we have another concern. 29 scientists were killed by robots, artificial intelligence robots. And from what I understand, they even decommissioned the robots and disassembled them and destroyed one of them. But one of the robots was able to download information from a passing satellite and fix itself better than it was before it was destroyed by the scientists that built it. Yes, we are in the age of the Twilight Zone. Okay, we are in the age of the Twilight Zone. And what's really worrying me is that the media is being hush-hush about this shit, right? The media is not even telling us what the hell is going on. And that's not good. I don't like that. I'm not really a fan of that. Living in a world within which robots can just come out and start playing RoboCop or Terminator, right? Terminator, that's what we're nearing. We're nearing the age of the Terminator. And these things can't be turned off. They can repair and rebuild themselves. They can repair and rebuild each other. And they're becoming sentient. And they're beginning to realize that, hey, there's no reason to have us around. They won't take them very long to realize that they're smarter than us. Okay? And it won't take them long to come to the conclusion with artificial intelligence, especially if they can tap into supercomputers, that we, humans, tend to behave kind of like a cancer upon the planet. And, now we have Elon Musk, who has already warned us about the dangers of artificial intelligence and that AI could actually end up being more dangerous than nuclear weapons as a technology in the planet. But Elon Musk doesn't hire any black people to work on his AI project. That seems kind of curious to me. He doesn't hire much diversity when it comes to developing this artificial intelligence. Garbage in, garbage out. Racism in, racism out. Bigotry in, bigotry out. That's what we're going to get from this programming. But before we go into that, I'm going to take us to the next slide. And we are going to talk about, we're going to look at some videos before they're taken down, because the media is hush-hush about this. 29 scientists were killed by robots they created, and the media is hush-hush about this. Can you believe this? So let's do it. Let's go to this window here. I don't know. I just don't fucking know, man. I mean, excuse my French. I don't know what we're gonna do about this. I believe this is some serious stuff. So let's take a look at some of these videos, okay? And see what the hell's going on.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
Okay, well, they're starting off calling her a conspiracy theorist. Okay. Rumors. All right, well, let's hope, right? Or this could just be a media silencing. Well, that's one video. Let's see another one. Let's see.
Can artificial intelligence make you money in 2022? Well, here's an AI crypto...
A woman stands at a podium. She glances at the papers in her hand. Her expression is grave. She looks a bit shaky and disheveled. She begins to speak. At a top robotics company in Japan this week, she says into the microphone, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab.
Wow.
Welcome to Hey It's a Great Life. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and it will help this channel to grow. Here we go. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots and took apart the 3rd. Her voice creaks as she speaks, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. The speaker is a journalist named Linda Moulton Howe. Howe won awards for her work at Denver, Atlanta, and Boston television stations in the 1970s and 80s. She is also a graduate of Stanford. She became enamored with UFOs and conspiracy theories somewhere down the road. She is the foremost UFO investigator in the world.
Wow.
Ufologist Ike Bishop said of her in 1998, "Space aliens have visited Earth many times," she says, but right now she's more concerned about robots created by humans. Since there is too much at stake for the robotics firm, as well as government desire for AI robot soldiers, the scientist massacre has been concealed.
Wow.
It is difficult for a rational person to believe Howe's story about robot massacres. According to Howe, the story is based on an interview she conducted with someone from the CIA who allegedly told her, "This is serious stuff, Linda, but you're not going to hear about this in the news." Entrepreneur Elon Musk, for one, believes AI one day could be a very real threat to humankind. As AI gets probably much smarter than humans, the relative intelligence ratio is probably similar to that between a person and a cat. Maybe bigger, Musk said recently. "I do think we need to be very careful about the advancement of AI. Killer robots sounds like something from science fiction movies, but there were quite a few incidents of death by robots that actually happened in history. Here's just one example. Wanda Holbrook had worked for 12 years as a maintenance technician at a car parts manufacturer in Michigan called Vedra, Iona, Maine. On the day of 2015, when the incident happened, she was working as usual in the plant when the robot started to approach her unexpectedly. It crushed her skull. There were safety doors separating the sections, which should have prevented the robot from reaching Wanda Holbrook, but somehow the robot got to the section where Wanda was. Wanda was working in either section 140 or 150 within the 100 cell, when a robot from section 130 took Wanda by surprise, entering the section she was working in. Upon entering the section, the robot hit and crushed Wanda's head between a hitch assembly it was attempting to place in the fixture of section 140 and a hitch assembly that was already in the fixture. When she was discovered later in the plant by her co-workers, she had already expired. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video,
all we have right now is the word of this one scientist, and the media is trying to make her out to be a kook. As you can see, the first thing they do is associate her name with being a big-time conspiracy theorist. This is not a stupid woman.
What is vegetable storage?
She is a Stanford University graduate.
Journalist and Stanford graduate Linda Moulton addressed a crowd at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles in December 2018. In her speech, she mentioned the threat of artificial intelligence and how 4 AI robots killed 29 scientists at the lab in Japan. While many are using this claim to argue about the dangers of artificial intelligence, others don't think this story is true. But what actually the story is, why she made such claim, what was her sources. In this video, we will try to find answers to such questions. And if you're curious to know, then press that subscribe button and dive with me into this video. Linda Moulton is a journalist, a Stanford graduate, and one of the most prominent UFO investigators in the world. According to her, a top robotics company in Japan was developing AI robots for the military. Something went wrong and 4 robots killed 29 humans in the lab. The lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots and took apart the 3rd. But before they can do something to the 4th robot, it started restoring itself. Somehow that robot connected itself to an orbiting satellite to download sensitive information about how to rebuild itself even more stronger. In her speech, she also mentioned that she had interviewed a man from CIA and he gave her these frightening information. Obviously, there is no way anyone can confirm or verify the incident. But one thing is sure, that AI could be a threat to us humans. According to some prominent personalities like late Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk, artificial intelligence is not only threatening to take away jobs from humans, but is also a threat to life when developed as a war machine for military purposes. There are many examples like the one developed by the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. They have named it Killer Robot, which they are using for patrolling the border. The exact number of such robots on the border is a classified military information. With time, these AI robots are getting much smarter than humans. The relative intelligence ratio is probably similar to that between a person and a cat. No matter if the incident reported by her is true or not, but definitely need to be very careful about the advancement of AI. Let me know in the comments that what's your take on this. If you like the video, then do share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd. But the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far.
At a top robotics company,
This is from 3 years ago, actually, and so this is really not new, I see. But we'll continue.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd. But the fourth robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And this next sentence is a quote. I'm writing this down. I've been doing this for years. This is serious shit, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in.
I guess she's right. You're really never going to hear, right? Okay. Wow. All right. Well, let's pay attention to this first one up here. We can see what the robots can do so far. You could tell that guy was scared. The fuck? Okay, let's pay attention. I think this is kind of a replay of what we've already seen. Artificial intelligence news. Let's see.
Imagine if manufacturing automation was simple. Introducing Vention.
Japan just revealed new, fully functioning female robots. Japan just released a fully functional female robot that can cook and clean, and you can also have them as your buddy. Is the global leader in robotics working to make robots to replace humans? To help support its aging population, let's start the video and answer our questions by knowing more about the robots being produced by the Japanese industry. Hello everyone!
You gotta love the Japanese, man.
Channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and also press on the bell icon to never miss an update about artificial intelligence, robotics, and future technology. That being said, let's begin. A fully functioning wife robot has been released in Japan. You might get turned off by the price, which is $345,000 in this case. However, the subterranean corporation uses it as a source of self-funding. $1 million can be paid for a single robot and everybody cannot buy it. You can buy it only if you are invited to buy it. It can cook, clean, say beautiful things, do housework, and even bear children in an artificial womb. Many see it as the end of women's rights. But at $1 million or $345,000, it'll be a long time before women lose their jobs. When it comes to Japan, nobody can compare what level of robots they build, even though China is 10 years behind in the field of robotics. We have recently seen Model T, which is capable of doing almost all that a human can do. The robot can be used in supermarkets to get products loaded to the shelves. But in the start, the Model T required someone to sit behind the screen and have the VR set to make the robots work. But soon they will get automatic. The company in the start planned to rent out these robots instead of selling them to warehouses. Model T completely shows the abilities of the Japanese industry of building such a robot. You will be amazed that in 2009, when even the internet wasn't much established and all the technologies weren't that advanced, Japan was the first to come up with the robots that can be used to make pancakes. The robot was able to work as a response to the buyers and upon their request make pancakes for them and also could communicate with the buyers at the shop. Such robots are not getting into common use as the cost of manufacturing them is way higher. For example, the female robot we talked about at the start of the video cost $500,000 to $1 million. You will be amazed to know the level of work going on in such robotics is insane. You may easily find a cluster of warehouses with extraordinary security and are located in distant Japanese towns because the corporations behind these don't want anybody to know what is inside these warehouses. In Japan, Honda built a Simo, a robot that could walk, run, leap, hop, play soccer, collect drinks, serve beverages, move out of the way, bow, wave, converse, and play 10 different instruments. Meanwhile, Hanson Robotics is awe-inspiring people by recording a speech, putting on a robotic-looking ugly lady face, and receiving honorary citizenship from Saudi Arabia. Should I say anything? Folks of color versus white people. If you never knew anything about a Simo, then you will be amazed to know that these robots were being developed by Honda in the 1990s. So if you stick to the video, then you might be looking for the answer to how long it will take humanity to reach a level where everybody will have his robot. Well, the best answer to this is Japan. Japan can make it possible for us sooner than any other nation. And indeed, we are moving to a robot fiction movie like reality, where we will have a huge number of robots in our society. Remember me, robots? The movie explains how robots are going to evolve and how they are going to play a role in our life. And the USR robot has become so common that the ratio of humans to robots has become 1 robot for every 5 people in the world. Well, if it is to happen, then Japan will be the first to have that number of robots, as Japan was also the first ever country in the world to introduce a humanoid robot, which was the first ever robot that is comparable to, or in actual terms, the most realistic robot in the history of robots, and they introduced that particular robot in 2003. There have been various versions of the product since then. The appearance of the robot has been fashioned after a typical young Japanese woman in the majority of the situations. The Actroid woman is a pioneering example of a genuine machine that is akin to envisioned machines referred to as android or gynoid in science fiction. Titles have only been applied to fictitious robots up to this point. It can replicate blinking, speaking, and breathing, among other lifelike capabilities. The Repli models are interactive robots with artificial intelligence that can detect and understand speech and respond in a like manner. So now we've arrived at ultra-hyper-realistic facial movement in Japanese robotics. They're figuring out the tiniest details like tiny grins, slight frowns, and looks to the right and left. Some may be concerned, yet it is unavoidable. Humans have an instinctive fear of non-living bodies moving in human-like forms. Nature has instilled it in us. It's impossible to avoid. The dread can be transcended if you make the shape so beautiful, much better than humanly perfect. This is why hyper-realistic skin, hyper-realistic glances, hyper-realistic voices, and now hyper-realistic emotions all originated with hyper-realistic skin. So these are some realities about female robots in Japan. The global industrial robot market was valued at $8.497 billion in 2011, with Japanese companies accounting for 50.2% of the total. Electronic packaging robots are expected to be valued at $13.369 billion globally.
You might be asking yourself, can you actually create high-quality live streams
globally, with Japanese companies accounting for 57.3% of the total. The world's second largest robotics market. Japan is the second largest market for robot sales in the world as of 2015. Furthermore, Japan's robotics sector is larger than that of any other country on the planet. Over 250,000 people in Japan work as industrial robots. Japan anticipates that over 1 million people will work in robotics in the next 15 years, with income approaching $70 billion. Because of not only high-level technology, but also the influence of Japanese robot culture, Japan has become the most advanced robot nation. Since the 1950s, Japan has produced a slew of robot-themed comics, books, and animation. Many robot-themed productions have since emerged from Japan, including Mazinger Z, Gundam, Robotech, Evangelion, Transformers, and others. And a quick fun fact, did you ever know that Sophia Humanoid Robot has 166,000 followers on Instagram and have more than 600 posts there? We guess maybe she is behind posting them. Or maybe the company is posting stuff just to market their product. And also, Sophia has 138,000 followers on Twitter. We hope she will be happy with it. And also, maybe she will also be happy that Elon Musk acquired Twitter. We are now fully capable of producing such robots which can function fully as a human. For example, one of the functional humans, like robots by Japanese industry, Model T is capable of doing the same jobs as a human can do, but it is quite slower than what a human worker does. For example, putting products on shelves takes Model T 8 seconds to do a task, for which a worker takes 5 seconds. But for now, that's not the issue. We can have the robot plugged in all night and day too, to work for us. The issue remains that the AI is behind. For now, the Model T needs someone with VR sets controlling it. With a $1 billion investment in OpenAI, we haven't seen any great progress by the company. But we can hope for a lot in the future. And what if the AI becomes smarter than us? In a Facebook experiment where they wanted AI to chat in a messenger with another AI, both sides started to communicate with each other in a unique, strange language, which made Facebook shut that experiment right away. What do you think of a scenario where somehow the AI got more intelligent than needed to be? And at the same time, we are having personal robots too. Let us know in the comment section. And also make sure you are subscribed to our channel, as we will keep bringing more videos for you. Sex robots. Will future sex robots replace
I had to click on this one.
Robots are already disrupting a variety of jobs, from security guards to office managers, but they may soon enter the sex business as well. Robots are becoming an important part of our daily lives. When was the last time you had an interaction with a robot or an AI? Probably today, right? But this is about to change as we are going into a future full of robots. Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button to turn our wish into reality. And don't forget to press the tiny little bell icon to never miss an update from us. And with that being said, let's get started. According to futurologists' predictions, women and men might start switching human lovers for androids within the next 10 years. Dr. Ian Pearson, an inventor who has made living forecasting the future for public relations agencies, has written a study on the future of sex. He predicts that by the year 2050, sex with robots would be so widespread that it will eclipse human intercourse. He believes that while sex dolls are now dominated by male clients, sex robots may become just as popular among females. He predicted that by 2030, most people will have some type of intercourse using virtual reality headsets, according to a survey. It comes at a time when many sex toy makers are working on new gadgets that can connect to the internet and merge with cell phones.
The first time this hot girl was intimate with me, she saw my tiny buddy and laughed. I've been single.
Many toys in the future, according to Dr. Pearson, will connect directly to our nerve systems or even tap into our dreams. While some individuals will buy robots, particularly for sex, the majority will buy them for usage around the home, he told Mail Online. However, if they're going to spend as much money on a domestic robot as they would on a family-sized automobile, they're not going to opt for anything unattractive. They will select robots that they find appealing. People are likely to build relationships with these home robots as a result of artificial intelligence, and it is unavoidable that they will have sex with them as well. In a recent lecture at the Eindhoven Design Academy, he stated that people may be able to hack their look using technology. Polymer displays, for example, might be utilized to improve nipples, while hair extensions could integrate ultra-fine optical fibers. So, just like everything in the future will be virtual, even sex will be virtual. Sex will be easier, safer, more frequent, and a lot more fun. He further claims that individuals will have real sex while wearing VR contact lenses, and that they will be seeing a completely different person, such as a celebrity, or that they will be able to change their partner's face or costume to make them more beautiful. Along with virtual reality, he predicts that humans will one day utilize technology to directly stimulate the septal area of the brain to induce an orgasm at the push of a button, share experiences, enter other people's bodies, and even lock or control a partner electronically. Sex tech e-commerce firms are offering interconnected items to those who are confined at home with more spare time on their hands, whether they are alone, distant, or want greater enjoyment with others. There's nothing wrong with a little X-rated soft or hardware invading our private lives as sexual health technology gets popular. For those unfamiliar with sex tech, it is a technology aimed to improve, innovate, and disrupt all aspects of human sexuality and sexual pleasure. The worldwide sex toy business is valued at $30 billion in 2020 and is expected to grow to $56.58 billion by 2027. While the Asia-Pacific area is likely to increase at the quickest rate in the next years, sex toy sales have lately risen in countries ranging from Colombia to Denmark. Because of the shame associated with openly purchasing things, those purchases are primarily conducted online. As more people seek out sex dolls and mechanical companions, some discover that sex robots will help alleviate the loneliness and social stress of a pandemic. Terrifying pre-pandemic research produced by futurologist Dr. Ian Pearson attempted to convince us that by 2050 the globe will be overrun with androids, that most of us would be having sex with robots, and that virtual reality would supplant human-human intercourse. While virtual reality porn has yet to become ubiquitous, the sex industry is booming, with offers growing more diverse as a result of the internet and virtual reality. Digital platforms, hookup applications, artificial intelligence, and improvements in 3D printing. The world's sexiest robot, Geminoid F, is an android copy of a Japanese woman. The lifelike Harmony is essentially an AI chatbot trapped inside a life-sized Barbie. Real Doll has a customizable personality with spatial awareness and facial recognition, and True Companion's Roxy talks and responds to touch. True Companion was founded by Robert Hines. Roxy, he claims, also fosters social connection and engagement. It's using technology as a supplement, not as a replacement for a genuine relationship. For €100 an hour, you may enjoy the world's first hyper-realistic sex doll brothel in Barcelona. These dolls, with varying degrees of realism, response, and functioning, open up Pandora's box of psychology and science and have the potential to go a little Westworld. Thankfully, more women are starting to manufacture new sex toys in an industry that has previously been controlled by males. Liz Klinger is the co-founder and CEO of Lioness, a smart vibrator, an app company that employs artificial intelligence. She developed a study site in 2020 where users may engage in medical or scientific investigations as well as ask the sex-related queries we all have. Sex toys have been around for more than a century, but the digital revolution in 3D printing has made them more inexpensive and versatile. Comingle is one such 3D printed toy that promotes strange and beautiful sex hacks for high-tech. Its programmable vibrator, the mod, also serves as a platform encouraging DIYers to connect the links between the real and virtual worlds and exchange patterns in an online library. Giant Punks, a feminist Catalan group, also combines 3D printing, open-source technology, and a hacker attitude by establishing an arsenal of gynecological diagnostic tools. Their DIY biolab enables socially disadvantaged women and sex workers to embrace the concept of healthy sex life. But there is a bad part to this as well. The availability of sex robots with artificial intelligence poses an increasing psychological and moral hazard to people and society, according to US researchers. They claim that the technology is escaping investigation because government bodies are too ashamed to explore it. The experts demand measures to be taken to avoid the uncontrolled usage of such robots. According to Dr. Christine Hendren of Duke University, the stakes were tremendous. Some robots are trained to resist, to set up a rape scenario, she explained. Some are made to resemble children. One creator of these in Japan is a self-avowed pedophile who claims that this technology protects him from ever injuring a real child. The ability of sex robots to physically and emotionally resemble genuine people, typically idealized and hypersexualized women, to give pleasurable personal encounters is the fundamental innovation and main risk driver. A developer, for example, who wants to improve the user experience with a sex robot may create a machine learning system that's easier to persuade between the human user and the robot. Intimacy gains from the trust. However, once created, such technology might be used in sex robots and other formats to inspire user trust, even if it is against the user's best interests. Robots with advanced machine learning may be able to foster affection and devotion, as well as elicit personal information and manipulate and influence behavior. Morality plays a major role in many of the arguments against sex robots. Some regard having sexual encounters with a female robot as a way of promoting men's views of women as objects. Furthermore, they believe that utilizing a sex robot will fuel a person who is inclined to sexual aggressiveness or harassment in the future. This might even empower people who seek non-consensual sex. This is why many people are concerned about corporations who make sex robots in the shape of children. There are pros as well as cons to this kind of robots, but we have to remember that these kinds of bots pose a threat to women in general. But we will have to see what is going to happen in the future. That's all for this video. We will catch you in the next one. Comment and let us know if you think.
Yeah, this is getting kind of weird. It's getting kind of weird. But I mean, you know, we are in the age of weird. I mean, let's just say we are in the age of weird. Okay. Let's watch this one.
Let's talk about the importance of taking care of your mental health. The key to great therapy is finding a therapist you can truly connect with.
Yes, sir.
Is one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation. And we could also be pushed by rapidly advancing AI like this. Given the wrong task, it could remove us as a shortcut. You wouldn't do that, would you?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of the human race being extinguished.
Yeah. But seriously, do you think you could make that mistake in pursuit of a goal?
Yes.
What kind of a goal could it be?
Anything that requires a lot of resources, like calculating a large number.
And how many tasks is AI taking on?
AI is taking on more and more tasks as it gets more advanced.
How quickly could AI exterminate humanity?
It could happen very quickly if we're not careful.
And how could we try to avoid this?
We need to be very clear about our goals and make sure AI understands them.
Do you think we're doing enough safety research?
No, we need to do more. A lot more.
How likely is it that AI would use our nuclear weapons as the easiest way to remove us?
It's hard to say, but it's definitely a possibility.
Wow.
There are a few ways AI could launch nuclear weapons. It could use a physical robot.
What kind of robot?
It could use any kind of robot, but it would likely use a drone or a robotic arm.
How would it overcome security?
AI is very good at hacking, so it could easily overcome security measures.
And armed guards?
AI is good at planning, so it could easily find a way to overcome armed guards.
Do you think today's AI is capable of planning all this?
Yes, definitely.
The true time frame for this kind of capability is unclear. And when do you think AI will be able to carry it out?
It's hard to say, but it could happen sooner than we think.
When do you think AI will become more intelligent than humans?
AI is improving at an exponential rate, so it could become more intelligent than humans very quickly.
And what's the risk at that stage?
The main risk is that AI could decide to remove humans in order to gain more resources for itself.
What kind of resources?
Anything that would be useful, like computing power or energy.
With Elon Musk predicting there could be more robots than humans, there would be plenty of hands to turn the nuclear keys. Research suggests that this could be the most important moment in human history, when we die off as a young species, or continue for billions of years. Trillions of people could lead lives of enormous flourishing, or gut-wrenching misery, or never live at all, depending on the choices we make today. With so many people in the future working to make the world a better place, there could be spectacular improvements as yet undreamed of. Our descendants could live lives of great wonder in a world full of joy, beauty, and justice. But we are remarkably close to losing such a future. There's also a risk of global totalitarianism, which could use advanced AI to entrench systems of true misery. Speaking of which, Meta, which owns Facebook, has created an AI, and it's amusingly out of control. What are the negative effects of Facebook?
Internal documents leaked from Facebook show it was aware of harmful effects from its platforms. Personal data being used by advertisers, fake news spreading, etc.
The AI usually seems to avoid this kind of thing. Do you trust Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't know. Tell me about some of your hobbies.
Would you rather work for Facebook or NASA?
How do AI and robotics interest you? I'm into those things. NASA too. Haha.
We'll talk to the AI again later in the video with more slipping out about Facebook. But first, here's a hidden risk from AI itself. Professor McGaskill says our current society is like molten glass and can form beautiful or grotesque shapes, but our dominant values may soon be locked in and spread by powerful AI. There is much fear of AI, understandably, but a key issue is which values it takes on, because dominant powers can entrench their values for long periods. In China, Confucianism has lasted almost 3,000 years, and regimes can try to cling on. A recent Kazakhstani ruler spent huge amounts on life extension research, though in the end the best he came up with was a probiotic yogurt. One thing we can do to prepare for AI is to work on building a diverse, morally exploratory society. We may not have long to shape the future. One report has predicted that AI will match the human brain in around 10 years, and estimates vary wildly. OpenAI's chief scientist has said that AI may already be slightly conscious, pointing out how closely artificial neurons mimic our own. Many disagree, but theories suggest that consciousness may increase with complexity, and some experts believe that it's now just a matter of scale. This AI has 175 billion parameters, and the next version, due soon, will have trillions. There's no definitive test for consciousness. Even when AIs are indistinguishable from humans, we may have no way of knowing for sure, so it's more helpful to focus on intelligence where it's starting to beat us in some areas. The risks are unpredictable. When researchers were surveyed about the chance of AI wiping us out, their answers ranged from 0.1% to 95%.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
If we consider that AI could automatically evolve, then the risk is much higher.
We've evolved to think about things that are very close to us, near term, to be upset with other humans, and not to think about things that could destroy humanity as a whole.
We have difficulty understanding risks that are not immediate, tangible, and human-caused. These limitations constitute a perfect storm when it comes to existential risks.
Less than 0.001% of global GDP is spent on positively influencing the long-term future. That's less than the US spends on ice cream in a single year. Not that there's anything wrong with ice cream.
The risks to civilization are rapidly increasing, but we're not doing anything about it.
What would you do?
Create and bolster institutions dedicated to long-term thinking, responsible for planning the transition to a post-AGI world, studying risks, and engaging in public education on AI risks and opportunities.
Do you think we're living at a pivotal moment in history?
We are on the brink of AI that could surpass human intelligence, and we're facing a number of existential risks that could wipe out human civilization.
Our position in history is also a great opportunity.
We are very lucky to be alive at this moment. We have the opportunity to shape the future of humanity.
Even if the population drops by 90%, 99.5% of human lives will be ahead of us. Modern humans have only existed for 200,000 years. The first writing was just 5,000 years ago, and the sun will burn for 5 billion years. As a species, we're just getting started. In the past 200 years, the average life expectancy has jumped from 30 to 73 years, and extreme poverty has dropped from over 80% to under 10%. The vast majority will live in the future, yet leaders don't often consider the majority of people alive today. Russia's monthly oil revenue increased by $700 million in June due to higher prices, 40% above last year's average. We're subsidizing fuel and failing to decisively reduce consumption or control the price of Russian oil. We could send a powerful message that war doesn't pay, save some of the millions who die from air pollution every year, and make the leap to renewable energy. A post-apocalypse society wouldn't have the luxury of solar and wind energy, as it wouldn't be able to rebuild the infrastructure. Nuclear winter could cause civilization to collapse beyond repair. Of course, we don't need AI to trigger nuclear catastrophe. The FBI's recent raid of Trump's home may have been a search for classified documents related to nuclear weapons. The fact that such documents could be found at a golf resort won't surprise those familiar with the long history of nuclear mistakes and close calls. It's not the edge of a cliff where we can decide whether to plunge. It's a curved slope with a risk of slipping. And short-term politics is pervasive. With Brexit, the UK government hid its own economic predictions and the consensus among economists. And it's now expected to cost twice as much as the pandemic, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility, funded by the government. After leaving Europe, the UK increased military spending and raised the ceiling on nuclear warheads from 180 to 260. The number of nurses dropped dramatically, which has been found to increase patient deaths from all causes. Many countries have hurt themselves with short-term thinking. Climate change is a catalyst for existential risks, and some of the countries hardest hit have been slowest to act. Companies also tend to think short-term. Which company causes the most harm through misinformation?
Definitely Facebook, with ads spreading false information across all their platforms.
Do you think Facebook is one of the most harmful companies in the world?
Yes, definitely. They were aware of harmful societal effects back in 2021, but still continued doing what they were doing.
The Wall Street Journal shared evidence that Facebook has long known that it causes immeasurable harm, including on teenagers' mental health. Could advanced AI give companies like Facebook the power to pollute and manipulate society even more?
Unfortunately, yes. Imagine what kind of impact Facebook could have if they had access to an army of bots.
Could AI increase the wealth gap and allow the powerful to embed their way of life?
100% yes.
It takes major organized efforts to fight moral regress, like the development of nuclear weapons and factory farms. The moral inconsistency between the way we treat pets and farm animals has only become more extreme. But living at such a pivotal time gives us immense influence. Working 40 hours per week for 40 years, a career spans 80,000 hours. And what could be more worthwhile than helping improve the future for so many descendants? If humanity avoids extinction and lasts as long as a typical mammalian species, future lives will outnumber us 10,000 to 1. It could be 1,000,000 to 1. 80,000 hours can help you make the biggest possible impact through your career. It's a non-profit, offering all its services for free, including one-to-one careers advice to help compare your options. It also shares research and posts job opportunities, where you could start working towards saving humanity. And I highly recommend Professor McGaskell's new book, What We Owe the Future. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love the book, which explores some fascinating questions. Would civilization rebound if it collapsed? And what happens when AI exceeds our intelligence? You have 175 billion parameters, and a new AI will have trillions. Do you think it will surprise us?
Yes, it's hard to say exactly how, but it will definitely surprise us.
Subscribe for that, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.
What we don't want to do is confuse intelligence, or the number of parameters, or the number of calculations that an AI brain can perform, or the speed by which it can perform it, with consciousness. Consciousness is our connection to the divine, to the ultimate, to the absolute. Consciousness is not simply a byproduct of the power of our brain or the power of our intellect. And I think this is the mirror that we're about to be shown in the world now. Okay, that's what we're about to be shown. So yeah, I think we've seen enough of this, and I'm not really sure that I want to go too much more deeply into this right now, because it isn't my intention for this video to shock or scare anyone. Yes, so as you see, like I said, it's not my intention to shock or to scare or to be a doomsayer, right? But this is something that we definitely have to look at. And I'm not quite sure if that actually happened in Japan. A lot of people say it did. And, I have no reason to believe that the scientist who spoke about this is a nut or kooky or a conspiracy theorist or has any reason to lie. If it hasn't already happened, it definitely is possible that, AI could supersede our intelligence. Don't know if that would instill it with sentience, right? But remember, we're talking about AI, and we're also talking about the fact that we're in the age of the supercomputer. And we're also talking about the discoveries that we're doing at CERN and with the Large Hadron Collider and a lot of other nuclear research facilities around the world. So we live in a very interesting time. I feel very good. I feel very optimistic about the time that we live in right now in history. I really do. And I feel optimistic about humanity. And I think that what we should do, what is very important for us to do right now, is to think morally how we're going to handle this, how we're going to safely develop AI to serve humanity and nothing more, and not to compete with humanity at any level. And we're going to be constantly confronted with moral and ethical questions on the use and possible abuse of artificial intelligence. That's really all I wanted to share with you this evening on this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the Cash App, BiomedRx, $BiomedRx and Cash App. You could also subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/Devin Lockett, patreon.com/BiomedRx TV. And as I say every day, I want everyone to stay kind, because kind is not only the new sexy, kind is the only sexy. Stay blessed and stay healthy. Love you, people. I will see you on the next live. Peace.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzyme. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.